all, I'm Bruce Eklund. I'm a former trustee for the library. I was a library trustee for 27 years. And today we're going to get started. We're happy to have this opening. We have up above in the balcony there the Dover Sherborn Regional Band led by Director Janice Barry. They're going to play the Star Spangled Banner. What I'd like to do is have everybody seated to stand. Give you a chance to, and everybody else. And then,
stand up for the flag.
Thank you. All the rest of you stand. Over my 27-year span of being a trustee, Lisa and I started. Is that better? No?
You have to define
Was that volume better?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. All right, so over the period of 27 years while I was there, we started out with the card catalog, and that was our way of finding information. Elizabeth and I have sort of grown up together over the years. We're moving from there to the current situation, and this is the final step in modernization of the library and making it technologically sound and up to date. The thing that I want to mention about it is that we went out on a project back when this began, and talking to other librarians and other libraries who had gone through the process of trying to do a renovation like this, finding out what worked, what didn't work, the things that we definitely should have, etc. One of the things that we noticed was that the libraries were changing. They were no longer just book-centric. They turned into more collaborative places of space. And so people were coming there, being in a space, being able to collaborate with each other. Kids from the school were coming and doing their work there, etc. And so what you had was a different need that needed to be satisfied. That led to this type of an effort to create a space. We had a small library for children. We needed a much bigger space, but also a more flexible space. Things could be changed around, so you could change the size of the room, who's in it, who's doing whatever. And that was sort of the goal that we were trying to work here with. Now, one of the things that we wanted to figure out was, okay, we're not the generation who's going to be using this. We're sort of coming out the other end. The next generation is the one who this is really for, the children. And so I wanted to talk to some of my grandchildren who live in town and go to the schools here. And so Emma Williams is a junior at DS. She's an A student and a member of the high school soccer team, said it's more than just about books. It's about familiar faces, catching up. Max Goldberg, a sophomore at DS, who does all things athletic, and Max and Nate Goldberg is in 8th grade. They're a budding thespian. So the library is a place that would give us more resources than you get with just the internet. So it's a place to come and expand your knowledge and interact with others as well. So listening to our children, seeing new choices they can make, is the reward of having this new library come to fruition. That's really what this has been all about. So it's for the future generation, and we started out with a generous donation of the Salt and Stalls with the original library. This is now the update that's been made in the year 2023. Before I go, I want to acknowledge the enormous amount of time and effort that's gone into creating this. I mean, you see the finished product, but the amount of hours that were spent, the time that was spent, the difficulties of getting all the different things done. First, I want to acknowledge the members of our town, first off. There were so many people who stepped up to this. The trustees, the library staff, the building committee members, the Friends of the Sherborn Library, and the Massachusetts Library Board Commissioner, to create a public and private success and support for this program. And you're all to be commended for that. Now, today represents the fruition of Elizabeth Johnson's gift to the town of Sherborn. So I'm just getting the order of speakers here. Becca Rausch is our essentially is the Massachusetts State Senator representing Norfolk, Worcester, and Middlesex, which includes Sherborn. And so she's going to make a few comments.
Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. What an exciting time it is to be here in Sherborn for this amazing event. I am so honored to represent this town and so very grateful to be with all of you this morning to celebrate this tremendous accomplishment that represents some of the best that public-private partnerships and collaboration can do. This is really, as you heard just moments ago, the culmination of years of work and dedication, and we're seeing it come to life. Literally, all of you filling this space is such a heartwarming, joyous vision. And I think that was the vision that launched this project in the first place. And it has been such a privilege to support this work in your state legislative delegation, particularly alongside Sherborn's former longtime state representative, David Linsky, who provided great support for many, many years, in addition to, and in advance of when I came on the scene, and then we worked together to help bring this to its culmination today. And I would be remiss to not take just a brief moment to say how important it is that this is happening now, as we see libraries and librarians and books coming under attack in so many other places. Books provide knowledge, insight, imagination, inspiration, fun, and so much more. And so it is with deep, deep gratitude and joy that I join you this morning to celebrate this momentous occasion. Thank you so much.
Okay, next we're going to have Marianne Klugish. Now she is from Wellesley. She is the Massachusetts Board of Library Commissioner, but she was at Wellesley at the time when they did the renovation of that one, and she was the chair of the trustees at that point. So she's been through this process personally. But maybe.
Thank you. I am honored and delighted to be here today in one of my favorite towns, celebrating this bright, new, wonderful, fabulous, amazing Sherborn Library, 24,000 square feet of pure joy. A people-centric library, by the way, not book-centric. So on behalf of Governor Healy and the Massachusetts Board of Library Commissioners, we congratulate the dozens of people who worked and persevered to make this building a reality. Special congratulations, of course, go to Elizabeth Johnson. And Liz Anderson. to the library trustees, past and present, to the friends of the library staff, all the special committees, town officials, your intrepid fundraisers. Wow, you're intrepid fundraisers for their vision and dedication. It not only takes a village to build a library, but a lot of support. And you got that support from the citizens of Sherborn, who along with the state provided the funding. Absolutely nothing makes the Mass Board of Library Commissioners happier than awarding a construction grant and then seeing that grant, in this case over $3.6 million, come to fruition. I took a tour of the building a couple of months ago, and when I saw the quality of the construction and the gorgeous interior, I came to the personal conclusion that Sherborn has built a 100-year building. I have no doubt that this new library will be a game changer for Sherborn, probably already is, and become the town's gathering place and create a sense of community and fellowship in a way that only libraries can offer. Many people forget that the original purpose of the Free Public Library as an institution here in the United States was for an educated citizenry to make democracy work. Libraries have never been more important. The reconstruction of this library is a renewal of our commitment to equal access to information for everyone, no matter their age, gender, or station in life. Access to information and dissemination of ideas is critical to a free and dynamic society, which is really, when it comes down to it, what libraries are about and makes them unique. I'd like to conclude with my very favorite Andrew Carnegie quote. He said, "A library outranks any other one thing a community can do to benefit its people." Well, you did it, Sherborn. It's your library. Enjoy it.
Okay, she mentioned Liz Anderson as being the next librarian as of January, so that's any comments from you.
Way shorter than I thought. That's why I wore my hips today. Thank you, Bruce. I know I speak for everyone when I say we are beyond thrilled to be in the newly renovated library. It has been an absolute joy to be here since March 20th and experience the community coming through the building for the first time. Really, many with hands to their hearts in astonishment of the beauty of the new space. We have been inundated with people. We ran out of library cards in our first few weeks here, and we had to design new ones. Great problem, exactly. So in our first month of being open, we have had double the number of checkouts since our busiest month last year. The community room, the study rooms have been booked, filling up pretty much from the day that we opened. They have been booked 80 times since we have been opened. We've been opened a month. I'm trying not to cry for this last one. And through all of this has been the staff of the Sherborn Library, who have been working tirelessly with a smile on their face somehow, morning to night, to pack up, move us out of the community center into a brand new building and prepare the space for everyone to use. And they have hit the ground running. With their muscles barely healed from moving, they turned to opening the doors to a town clamoring to re-enter, and without hesitation began to fill the calendar with programs ranging from story times, teen advisory board meetings, balloon twisting, book clubs, Earth Day programs, crafts, and even a visit from the Snow Queen. In our first month we've been here, can you believe the staff has held 25 programs with 750 participants? Yeah. I am privileged to work with this fine team of people who have rolled with all the punches, the unsung heroes of the Sherborn Library renovation project. You've already given them a big round of applause, but please, a thunderous round of applause for the Sherborn Library staff. I know I speak for the staff when I say that we are so grateful to work in this new space and be witness to the community building that is already occurring here. Friends and neighbors are coming together, work from homers are finding nooks to work in. I've already witnessed someone doing a job interview in one of the study rooms. The community immediately began to take ownership over this space and treat it as the living room of our small town. We are indebted to the people of Sherborn for their patience and to the many donors who made this building a reality, many of whom are here today. We thank you. As we get ready to cut this ribbon on this joyous day, I look forward to working with the staff and the town to fulfill the dream that Elizabeth Johnston had to create a space that unites us, inspires, and connects us. Thank you.
We'll see if that's far enough. Okay, we next have I want to introduce the Select Board Chair, Jeff Waldron. He's been a key member in terms of pulling all this together. Jeff?
I'm a runt like Liz too, so I'll bring it lower too. And I don't even have high heels on. So before I start my formal remarks, this staff has really been remarkable because I came through here many times, as she knows, and I think it was maybe about a month and a half ago when I came on a Thursday night, and they were just drained. They'd been working night and day, weekends, getting everything moved in and set up. And they were just, and they have new staff members, and you could just tell, they were nice, and they were friendly, but they were just completely drained. And Liz had a party, we had like brunch for them the next day, so they really, this was not a cakewalk. This was, once it was open, everybody's excited, but there's a lot of work moving from storage in places all over the place with new materials and materials that have been hiding for 5 years that we had to find again. So the staff was phenomenal. So I first got involved in the library project because I worked for Turner Construction in an earlier life as a project manager, including on the Kennedy Library a million years ago or so. I actually sat in a construction trailer where I am paid when I was 22 years old and too dumb to know what I was seeing. So I started doing work on the library. I was on an advisory committee, and then I joined the select board, which I'm chair of now. And I've been involved with both the trustees and the library building committee pretty much for quite a while. My select board colleague who's here today, Eric Johnson, also dedicated his significant expertise and time, particularly in dealing with contractor management negotiations and legal issues. So he's been invaluable, and he and I have really been participating fully if we can. Now, I remember at the start, when I first got involved, being very impressed with the library building committee. Somebody actually spent a lot of time thinking about the talent that we would need on the library building committee over the scope and course of the project, which I thought was very interesting. So I would like to now recognize the key members of the library building committee team that have really been, just resolute in completing this project and continually rebounding from challenges. So Jim Kolb and Chris Kenny both have significant construction management and architectural experience, and Jim chaired the library building committee, and Chris was the dual role, and he was on both the library trustees and the library building committee, so he sort of made that bridge. Mark Brown and Richard Littlefield possess industry-leading knowledge in specific construction installation techniques and quality of work, and analytical project scheduling techniques, were both have been invaluable as we adapted to the workflow and had to, challenge some of the work and have it be redone. So they were instrumental. Roger Demler, who we're not talking to because he's in Bahamas today, but we'll speak about him. By virtue of his experience in public water supplies, in addition to the big change in the library was adding a fire suppression system for which, as everyone knows, we don't have a water supply in town, so we had to put an in-ground tank and had a lot of water issues in order to have an installed fire suppression system. Alexis Madison and Heather Willis are both here. They contributed their creative design talents to the selection and installation of all the interior finishes and furnitures. And so I know they thought we would never get to them, but we did finally get to that stage. When you look around and see the space, it's interesting, but see the creative touches of the way they're using that space and causing it to be collaborative. Go into the children's wing and look at the benches that are 9 inches off the ground. It's all been thought out, and the architect was very involved, but we also had people that were advising on those issues. Adam Page is an expert in procurement and contracting, so he was on the LBC to provide that expertise. And while she's not listed in the program, Libby Yon contributed her experience working on town building projects, most notably the regional schools. Mary Moore and Brian Connolly have both been masterful chairs of the trustees, but let no one misunderstand, they devoted a lot of time to LBC issues. They weren't just waiting for high-level issues to come to them. They've been very, very involved in a lot of the details around the work. Our town treasurer, Heidi Doyle, and finance director, Deb Seifring, have had to process all the invoices that come from this many contractors over time and look at cash flow management and bonding issues. So it's taken a lot of financial measures to a project of this size. And finally, last but not last, I want to recognize DPW Director Sean Killeen. He's responsible for all town buildings, but he's literally been working 2 jobs at the DPW and here at the library. Every step of the way, his expertise, persistence, and critical prodding, he's good at that, have been invaluable getting us to where we are today to open the library. So I want to give special thanks to Sean. I'm sure he's hiding somewhere. Thank you.
All right, at this point, I want to ask the kids who are going to be helping us with a ribbon, come up to the side over here to get ready for that. This is our last speaker, Brian Connolly, who is now the current chair of the Sherborn Library Board of Trustees. Brian?
Great, thank you, Bruce. And I would also like to thank the library trustees, the building committee, Friends of the Sherborn Library, library staff, and the many town officials and employees who've worked in the project. Also would like to thank the private donors who have contributed more than $4 million to the new Sherborn Library. There's a plaque over by the entrance here that has them all listed, and I hope when you make your tour around the building, you look at the plaque and be able to see some of the, in other parts of the building too, there are some name spaces with the donors recognized as well. But there is one person who deserves special recognition without whom this new library never would have happened. So Elizabeth Johnson was the library director from 1988 to 2022. And she worked tirelessly throughout the building project, staying engaged and committed to the history, the staff, the patrons, and in completing the building in the way it was envisioned. So Elizabeth, if you can come up and join me. Recognize Elizabeth. The trustees are naming the hallway that connects the 1971 building to the 2023 building as Elizabeth's Way. And there's a plaque that Bruce just unveiled here, and again, you can see it as you tour through the library, recognize Elizabeth for that. So it's only fitting that the hallway that connects the past to the future in the library to the community is named after Elizabeth. In addition, the Friends of the Sherborn Library have established a new fund in Elizabeth's honor. The Director's Fund recognizes her distinguished career, and up to 10% of the fund may be used annually at the discretion of the director for programming, staff education, and special projects that support the library's mission to provide the community with access to information, promote lifelong education, recreational reading, and cultural advancements. I would say that one of Elizabeth's lasting contributions was hiring and mentoring Liz Anderson, her new library director. The transition to Liz has been seamless, and we look forward to her leadership and how she uses the new Director's Fund. So Elizabeth, thank you for 34 years of extraordinary leadership.
We're proud of you, Mary Elizabeth.
So given all you've done, we'd like you to do the ribbon cutting. And before Elizabeth cuts the ribbon, we're inviting everyone here downstairs into the community room to have some cake and refreshments, sign a guest book that was set up for Elizabeth, and celebrate the new library opening. So Elizabeth, I hand you the scissors. Open the library.